for individuals who have gracefully crossed the threshold of their 60th birthday and currently rely exclusively on their daily walking routines to maintain their physical fitness. A remarkably crucial and potentially life-altering piece of physiological information awaits your attention. While dedicating yourself to taking a daily stroll is undeniably highly beneficial for cardiovascular health, lung capacity, and general mental well-being, numerous esteemed orthopedic experts, physical therapists, and geriatric medical specialists emphatically highlight that incorporating just one additional, deceptively straightforward movement into your life can vastly better shield your vulnerable joints, rapidly build essential muscle tissue, and significantly extend your years of total physical independence. Actually, quite a few physicians and rehabilitation specialists currently prescribe this specific functional action to their own older relatives and aging clinic patients alike, primarily since it intensely engages essential, deep-seated muscle groups that conventional linear strolling simply fails to stimulate adequately. Astoundingly, the vast majority of older adults either ignore this foundational human movement entirely or attempt to perform it with severely improper biomechanical form, thereby tragically losing out on its incredible, scientifically proven advantages for bodily stability, fluid movement, and even cognitive well-being. As we naturally grow older, the crucial muscle tissues meticulously supporting our lumbar spine, knee joints, and pelvic hips inevitably begin to deteriorate at an accelerated rate, which is a primary, underlying reason why folks navigating their 60s, 70s, and beyond start facing debilitating morning stiffness, increasingly sluggish mobility, and a terrifyingly elevated danger of tumbling or losing their balance. However, when the correct, targeted physical activity directly and consistently stimulates these specific anatomical areas, an absolutely amazing physiological transformation begins to occur within the body. Muscular power measurably increases. Weight-bearing joints suddenly feel much more securely locked in place. Spinal alignment naturally improves without conscious effort. And routine daily chores like rising from a low dining seat, safely navigating steep staircases, or transporting heavy bags of groceries abruptly feel effortless and manageable once more. This profound shift in physical capability is exactly why numerous medical professionals boldly claim that mastering and practicing this single, overlooked routine might actually carry significantly more long-term health weight than obsessing over your daily pedometer step count. Before fully disclosing exactly what this miraculous activity entails, we must thoroughly explore three vital, underlying reasons why merely walking might eventually fall disastrously short later in life, with the second reason predictably catching almost everyone entirely off guard. Past your milestone 60th birthday, the human body undergoes microscopic and macroscopic cellular shifts that walking by itself simply cannot halt or reverse. A major, often entirely concealed health issue is age-induced muscle deterioration, clinically diagnosed by physicians as sarcopenia, which acts like a slow, invisible thief that gradually diminishes the explosive power and structural integrity of the tissues strictly responsible for keeping your skeletal frame stable, upright, and agile. A surprising number of older individuals mistakenly assume that maintaining a dedicated daily walking habit is completely adequate to successfully ward this degenerative condition off forever. Yet walking, by its very biomechanical nature, primarily trains your cardiovascular stamina and only marginally engages specific slow-twitch muscle areas. The deeper, hidden stabilizing muscles that securely steady your hip sockets, tightly brace your knee ligaments, and fiercely defend your lower lumbar spine frequently stay frail, dormant, and dangerously weak if they aren't explicitly and aggressively targeted through deliberate resistance. This biomechanical reality perfectly explains why countless dedicated daily walkers still constantly battle with chronic knee aches, nagging hip rigidity, severely compromised equilibrium, or embarrassing trouble getting up from deep, plush living room sofas. Orthopedic specialists routinely and emphatically note that the primary muscles dictating these explosive upward actions are the powerful gluteals and the complex web of tissues encompassing the entire pelvic region. And if those specific areas critically lack power, the adjacent joints, located both above and below them, are unfairly forced to absorb a massive amount of excessive, damaging strain. As time steadily passes, this disastrous anatomical scenario can directly trigger chronic joint discomfort, severe skeletal shakiness, and a massively heightened probability of taking a catastrophic, life-altering fall. Rigorous clinical research focusing specifically on the elderly population has actually conclusively demonstrated that simply boosting raw hip power can drastically and immediately lower the statistical risk of falling and wildly enhance overall agility, even among those active individuals who already enjoy a rigorous regular walking routine. Consequently, a growing chorus of forward-thinking medical providers now passionately advise blending your daily outdoor walks with uncomplicated indoor resistance motions that specifically and intensely trigger these vital life-sustaining muscle zones. Among all the potential exercise choices available in the fitness world, a particular, highly specific exercise shines incredibly brightly because it remains exceptionally safe for older, fragile demographics, requires absolutely zero expensive gym gear or memberships, and can be completely accomplished right in the comfort of your living room in merely a few fleeting moments each and every day. What truly renders this specific motion so incredibly potent is its direct, laser-focused targeting on the exact muscles, facilitating your fundamental ability to rise up against gravity, perfectly steady your frame during dynamic motion, and aggressively guard your delicate lower back and knee joints against undue, painful tension. Surgeons frequently and urgently highlight that when an aging individual permanently loses the capacity to execute this specific motion effortlessly, it serves as a glaring, primary red flag that their physical independence might be rapidly deteriorating toward a point of no return. Fortunately, routinely and patiently practicing this action can effectively and miraculously undo a significant portion of that acquired frailty, effectively teaching the nervous system and the body once more to safely navigate three-dimensional space with far greater mechanical efficiency. The most fantastic and encouraging aspect of this entire revelation is that you might actually already be executing a sloppy variation of a daily without even realizing its immense hidden value. This highly recommended, universally praised routine is clinically known as the sit-to-stand exercise. It might initially appear far too basic, simplistic, and mundane to yield massive, life-changing results, yet this precise action represents one of the absolutely most vital, foundational functional maneuvers the human physique can ever hope to achieve. Every single time you purposefully elevate yourself from a wooden dining chair, a plush television couch, or the soft perimeter of your mattress, your body is neurologically forced to fire up the massive glutes, the thick quadriceps thigh muscles, the deep abdominal core, and the intricate stabilizing tissues securely surrounding the knees and hips. When executed accurately, mindfully, and repeated multiple times with deliberate, excruciating control, this mundane action miraculously transforms into a formidable, potent strengthening tool that rigorously conditions the exact muscles dictating long-term self-reliance in our golden twilight years. For this precise reason, numerous physical rehabilitation experts and orthopedic clinicians heavily utilize the timed sit-to-stand evaluation to accurately gauge practical, real-world strength in senior citizens during medical checkups. If a person can smoothly finish several controlled cycles without desperately relying on their hands or momentum for a boost, it typically indicates that their lower body power and neurological equilibrium remain safely within a robust, youthful spectrum. Conversely, if rising feels intensely strenuous or strictly demands a heavy, desperate push off the chair's armrests, it frequently and sadly signals that the supportive muscles around the lower limbs have already started to dangerously fade. The remarkable, undeniably hopeful truth is that consistently engaging in a deliberate sit-to-stand motion can swiftly, safely restore that lost physical vigor. In stark contrast to lengthy, exhausting strolls that predominantly test your aerobic endurance, this specific motion explicitly and intensely conditions the fast-twitch muscles tasked with generating raw force and maintaining absolute steadiness. Progressively and steadily, it can render daily, mundane chores exponentially easier, ranging from smoothly exiting a toverjoening, low-riding vehicle to confidently ascending steep staircases or simply dodging those terrifying instances where your frame feels suddenly wobbly while quickly pivoting or switching walking paths. Medical experts and kinesiologists are particularly fond of this routine because it perfectly mirrors authentic daily movement patterns rather than artificially sequestering muscles in unnatural, machine-based ways found in commercial gyms. Put simply, it conditions the human physique to move exactly as evolution and nature originally intended. By performing this drill at a deliberate, slow pace with upright posture, seniors condition their bodies exactly as nature intended, massively fortifying hips, shielding knees, and engaging the deep core muscles that protect the spine. This specific muscle activation is the proven formula for preserving total autonomy. Countless individuals are astonished that just a few minutes daily yield physiological perks comparable to substantially longer workouts, which is why physical therapy regimens heavily incorporate repetitive sit-to-stand actions to train correct mechanical alignment after joint surgery. However, proper technique is crucial to avoid throwing unwarranted stress onto delicate knees. To safely execute this motion, you only require a sturdy seat and focused effort. Begin by perching near the forward edge with your psoas planted flat, shoulder-width apart. Your knees should be flexed at a 90-degree angle, and your spine must stay fiercely upright. Avoid instinctively reclining backward, which transfers immense pressure onto the fragile lumbar spine. Instead, consciously shift your chest marginally forward so your center of gravity aligns directly over your planted feet. From this loaded posture, aggressively drive your feet into the ground to elevate yourself using pure leg power, rather than shoving off with your palms. Visualize the upward drive originating straight from your thighs and glutes. Upon achieving a proud standing posture, boldly hold that stance for a brief moment, and then progressively lower your body back onto the seat with agonizing control instead of collapsing hastily. This deliberate, eccentric descent uniquely conditions the tissues stabilizing your hips and knees while upgrading neurological balance. A sluggish pace heavily outweighs rapid movements. Just 5 to 10 flawless repetitions activate primary muscle groups far better than an hour-long walk. Crucially, ensure your knees perfectly track in line with your toes throughout the maneuver to prevent massive stress on joint structures. Keeping your chest proudly elevated and your core mildly tightened fiercely guards your overall alignment. Beyond raw muscular development, this action drastically upgrades coordination and physical equilibrium. Transitioning from sitting to standing forces the central nervous system to rapidly redistribute body weight and brace major joints, playing a massive role in completely averting dangerous falls. Additionally, the massive muscles of your lower half act like a powerful secondary heart pump, vigorously driving pooled blood back toward the chest to significantly enhance circulation and reduce ankle swelling. Robust leg muscles also soak up brutal impact forces, drastically easing overall joint strain. Experts highly suggest pairing this action with an effortless 30-second habit. Draw in 2 or 3 deep breaths while sitting rigidly upright before initiating the routine. This awakens deep core muscles, oxygenates the blood, and perfectly primes your physical frame, drastically lowering the likelihood of careless, sloppy form. A further beneficial modification is the intentional isometric pause, where you stubbornly linger in the upright position for 3 to 5 agonizing seconds prior to descending. This challenging hold brutally taxes stabilizing tissues and permanently upgrades your real-world balance profile. If the routine is excessively challenging initially, it is completely acceptable to rest your hands gently upon your thighs for a tiny bit of mechanical help until your musculature adapts. Executing this simple drill once or twice daily steadily reconstructs vital physical strength, fiercely preserving your capacity to navigate your surroundings and retain hard-earned self-reliance. To extract the absolute maximum benefit, seamlessly merge this powerful motion with your existing walking habit. Therapists advocate coupling resistance drills with gentle walking, because a brisk walk preserves heart health and lubricates joints, whereas the sit-to-stand maneuver aggressively defends the muscles bracing your spine against gravity. A highly actionable strategy involves completing 8 to 10 deliberate sit-to-stand reps right before your daily stroll. This fires up the primary muscles initially, allowing your rhythmic walk to physically solidify that movement pattern while boosting aerobic stamina. Many state their walk actually feels noticeably easier after these reps because their legs are thoroughly primed. Another fantastic window is later in the afternoon following prolonged spells of sitting, which successfully reawakens dormant muscles and reinstates proper posture. These brief, scattered sessions rapidly accumulate into undeniable upgrades in physical balance and raw leg power. Preserving your baseline strength acts as the strongest shield against age-related deterioration, keeping mundane tasks like carrying groceries or ascending stairs completely manageable for a much longer time frame. By merely rehearsing this functional exercise with conscious control, you effortlessly convert a mundane daily action into a formidable tool for longevity. Positive changes manifest astonishingly fast, with a vast number of older adults excitedly reporting enhanced leg strength and movement confidence within a mere matter of weeks. Daily consistency remains the ultimate deciding factor. Forging a rock-solid habit of consistent motion genuinely defends your skeletal frame over the long haul. Tune into your body's subtle signals and proceed at a secure speed, halting to seek medical guidance if any motion triggers sharp discomfort. Otherwise, this highly controlled routine feels inherently natural and deeply supportive of the joints. As you stubbornly persist, rising from a deep couch or pivoting around a sharp corner will suddenly feel vastly smoother. These specific upgrades are the precise capabilities that empower older individuals to stubbornly remain highly active and totally independent deep into their golden years. Intelligently fusing your walking habit with targeted strength routines like the sit-to-stand maneuver easily triggers a monumental difference in fiercely defending your joint health past 60. Attempt thoughtfully weaving in a handful of slow repetitions today. Fiercely maintain your consistency, and your future self will undoubtedly express profound gratitude for the incredible stability you proudly begin constructing right this very moment.